Good afternoon, Ms. Shelton. Please introduce yourself for the court, spelling your last name for the record.
My name is Rory Shelton, Shelton.
And Ms. Shelton, what's your occupation?
I'm the spirit guardian of Rockter World. I wear the dinosaur suit.
And Ms. Shelton, what are your responsibilities as the mascot at Rockter World?
Well, part of it is to spread an atmosphere of peace for the children that come to Rockter World, and I preserve that peace in a photograph with many of them. And then I also take pictures with the World Tour ticket holders.
And Ms. Shelton, do you have experience as a mascot?
Yes, all through middle school and high school, I was the spirit guardian of my schools, and then I was also the dolphin at Rules River Town.
Ms. Shelton, are you acquainted with the defendant in today's case?
Yes, Whitney Bowman and I have worked together at Rules River Town, and now we work together at Rockter World as well.
Ms. Shelton, what do you remember about working with the defendant at Rules River Town?
I remember she was always very nice, and everyone liked her a lot. But I also remember seeing her and Cameron Poole engaging in a skimming scheme at Rules River Town.
Objection, Your Honor, to character evidence.
Your Honor, this evidence is not character evidence. If we review the portion of 404B, in the fact that this is not a crime per se, but a wrong or another act, and we as the prosecution are using this not as propensity evidence, but to convey a lack of accident, in this case of carrying out a scheme stealing at a similar location as Rockter World, and this is also intent to carry out a similar act, and as such, this is not character evidence.
May I respond? Sure. Your Honor, they're trying to use the fact that Whit Bowman may have had a scheme at Rules River Town makes it more likely that she would do this scheme at Rockter Road, which is character evidence.
Any response?
Your Honor, I would stand by my initial response that this is not propensity evidence, but that in fact this conveys a lack of mistake at a skimming scheme from a boss prior to Rockter World.
May I respond?
If you have something additional.
Your Honor, for this to be admissible, it has to be, the two schemes have to be similar. The scheme at Rules River Town was different. It was simply a scheme. The one at Rockter Road, it was Cameron Poole committed a fraud. There was no false impression. So there's no knowledge in that, there's no knowledge and it can't be admissible.
Could you maybe proffer how these two schemes are going to be similar?
Certainly. If I could explain, the scheme occurring at Rules River Town involved a taking in of money when participants at this amusement park were going to participate at the ring toss booth specifically. And not all of the money made it into the register. In fact, the individual, be it Cameron Poole or Whit Bowman, took money for themselves in the act, in addition to taking money for the register. And in fact, I believe this is a very similar scheme to Rockter World, as we've discussed here in court today. The fact that a customer would pay admission, not all of the money paid for admission would end up in the register, some of it was kept for themselves. Both involve deception of employers and falsifying the appearances.
Okay. I think I know how I'm going to rule on this. You're correct in that this is character evidence. However, I think based on what I've heard, there is enough similarity between the two to make this evidence also indicative of a plan or an absence of mistake, that this wasn't necessarily just an accident. So you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Shelton, what did you see at Rules River Town at the ring toss?
I saw that people would come up to the ring toss, and Cameron Poole would give them prizes if the people would slip them extra cash, and I told the owner of the amusement park about it. She moved Cameron Poole to a ride, put Whit Bowman at the ring toss, and I saw the prizes disappearing just as they had when Cameron Poole was working the ring toss.
And Ms. Shelton, when did you next encounter the defendant?
Ms. Bowman started to work at Rockter World soon after I started working there.
Ms. Shelton, when did you next encounter Cameron Poole?
Cameron Poole also started working at Rockter World a little bit after Whit Bowman started working there.
And did these two interact when they were fellow employees at Rock to World?
Yes, I saw them as soon as Cameron Poole came to work at Rockter World. I saw them talking together a lot behind the ticket booth.
Did you overhear any statements in particular, Ms. Shelton?
Yes, there was one time I was meditating behind the ticket booth and I heard a dispute happening next to me, and they were, Whit Bowman said that she was out of her version of the World Tour tickets and needed a new shipment.
And Ms. Shelton, did these statements and interactions continue over the course of the summer?
Yes, another time, the day before the robbery happened, I saw Whit Bowman and Cameron Poole in the locker room. Whit asked Poole if he had a knife, and Poole said he didn't, and Whit said he would get, or that she would get Cameron a knife for tomorrow, that he would need it for a job.
And did you see Cameron Poole and Whit Bowman on the day of August 30th, Ms. Shelton?
Yes, I saw them at the ride that Whit was operating, and she handed Poole a knife and said that Poole should serve Longstreet right.
Thank you. At this time, there are no further questions.